Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
What's going on, guys? Today I've got an early game / mid game poison concoction ranger build that I've been using to clear the campaign that I want to show you guys. As usual, I've included the Mobalytics link in the description. I'm also going to be pinning a comment in the comment section related to the giveaway. The old giveaway, I could have gotten my account banned on GGG, POE1 and 2, as if I give away stuff related to in-game currencies based on followers, viewers, or subscribers, I can get my account banned. Thank you to the viewer that brought this to my attention. So instead, I'm going to be doing gift cards for you guys. They'll be of your choice. Just comment under that comment and I'll reply to you if you won. We'll be doing the giveaway once we hit 1K subs on YouTube, and I'll be doing the giveaway live on my Twitch. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So the whole build revolves around Poisonous Concoction, Fine Arrow, and Despair. So Poisonous Concoction is found in the passive skill tree. It's on the Ascendancy area right here. You have to be Pathfinder to use it. And what makes it so strong is that you can combo it with level of all projectile skills. So you can see it's level 21 right here. If I take off my quiver, it's suddenly level 13. The reason that we're getting such a drastic level of increase is because we're running the Widow Hell Crew bow, which increases the bonuses gained from your quiver. This can range from anywhere from 150% to 250%, so try to get a higher value if you can. We combo this with skills in the passive skill tree, such as Master Fletchling in this entire area right here that increase the bonuses gained from your quiver. So we're kind of double dipping into the effect. That's how we can get it to such a high level, even though we're only level 46 in the game and currently have like level 9 or 10 skill gems. Now, more than likely, this is an unintentional interaction that's occurring that they may nerf, but I can still see this being a really strong early game build regardless of using this or not, as I wasn't using Widow Hell the entire time. I only switched to it here recently. I was using this dual string bow otherwise, so you can still make it do even without the Widow Hell bow. So I'm going to go and give you a breakdown of what support gems we're using, the skill gems, and why we're using them. So on Poisonous Concoction, we're using Scatter Shot. That way, whenever you throw our flask, we're going to have 3 total projectiles. This is going to increase the amount of poison and damage that we're doing. We're going to run Chaos Infusion, as poison is chaos damage, and we'll do Chaos Mastery to raise the level of it. On Poison Burst Arrow, this is our main attack that you're going to be using at range. Also, if you're going to be using this if you run out of flash charges, because it does use your flash charges. We're going to be using Fork. That way, whenever you hit a target, it's going to split off into 2 projectiles and go hit other targets. We use Deadly Poison to increase the magnitude, and we'll do Comorbidity to increase the number of poisons applied by the said skill. So we can stack up to 3 poisons on one target. We're going to run Barrage. This is what we're using to buff our Vine Arrow when we shoot it. This is just going to add a repeat to your shot. This is going to put multiple plants on the ground. This is great for bossing and locking down areas. We're on Premediation. That way we can increase the damage of supported skills by 15%. And Ingenuity. That way this is on a faster cooldown. Vine Arrow, we're going to have Corrosion on here so we can break armor. We're going to have Fawn of Rage. That way if you're standing near your Vine Arrow, it's going to be buffing your damage. And Encumbrance. That way we can slow down targets even more with the skill. Currently, we have all 60 of our Spirit into Blasphemy. This is going to apply curses in an aura around you. So we're going to be running Despair. Despair is going to lower the enemy chaos resistances around you. And then we're going to run Hex Bloom. That way, whenever an enemy dies, it's going to spread that curse to nearby enemies. Then we're going to run Magnified Effect, so we have an increased area of our curse effect. So these 2 down here are optional, but I do like to run them for area lockdown or kind of scary situations. So Rain of Arrows, and we're going to combine this with Envenom and Pin. Pin is going to lock down enemies that you hit with this. This will lock them in place. So if there's a big group of enemies up ahead of you, or if a big enemy's coming at you, you can drop this on top of your head and let it rain down to lock down the enemies. And then Freezing Salvo is kind of like an emergency hit button. If you get grouped up on, and let's say it's like a big yellow bar or something like that, you can hit this and it's going to launch out a whole bunch of freezing arrows, and they'll freeze the target in front of you. That way you don't have to worry about it. You can escape out and, kind of survive. And you're just going to run Glaciation for more freeze buildup, and then Execrate because it's going to give you double the chance to inflict ailment, but it does give you an 8-second cooldown. But the gimmick of it, it does take time to build up all your charges, so you might as well go for this anyways. So I'm going to go and break down some of the gear that we're using. Please keep in mind that the uniques that I currently have equipped are not mandatory. They're more or less a convenience thing. You can make do without them, but they are quite cheap. They're about 1 exalted piece for these 2. So I do have Widow Hell equipped. This is increasing the bonuses from our quiver, but if you don't have this, please try to run a dual string bow or any bow that has level projectile skills. Go for some added damage on them and some on enemy kills so you can sustain your life and your mana. The gauntlets are not mandatory, but all damage from hits contributes to poison magnitude. This is great for making rain of arrows and other things increase that poison magnitude on poison enemies. Chest piece, I'm building in the full evasion here as I do plan on going into acrobatics. We got some resistances, get some life, get some mana, get some stat increases. Boots, go for high movement speed, get some life, some mana, some stats, and some resistances. Some life regen's nice. On the helmet, you can just go for same thing, mana, life, stat, resistances, and regen. You could also get crit hit chance. On the rings, go for increased chaos damage, as poison is chaos damage. Go for some stat boost, some on enemy killed stats, life regens, mana, life, things like that. Same thing for this ring, I got all attributes. This amulet isn't mandatory, I just really like it. It's going to gain 29% of our maximum mana as extra energy shield. This is really nice for increasing our survivability. I think this one is a bit pricey, but you can make do with really any nice amulet here. The bell, I do really like this bell. It's also not mandatory. I think this one is pretty cheap. It's going to make it to where we have 100% increased flash charges gained. This is important because we're going to be throwing the poison concoction quite often. And like I said, it does use charges of our flask. So you can see as I'm throwing them, it's going down. So as we're killing enemies, it's going to double the amount of flash charges gained. And I don't think it increases the amount of flash charges used by our skill. So it's a pretty good overall skill right here. Then on the quiver, I would just go for as high level projectile skills you can get. There's also ones you can get with increased damage or increased attack speed. I also just have some pierce and some poison with attacks on here. The quiver, it's really important that you get level projectile skills and increased damage with bow skills. So I'm going to go break down the passive skill tree for you. On the ascendancy tree, of course, we're running poisonous concoction. This is what we're doing to do all the damage that we are. Once we get 2 more ascendancy points from Cruel, I plan on going into overwhelming toxicity, but at the moment we are using Traveler's Wisdom to get some bonus skill points. We have 6 bonus skill points with this right now, so this is the plan right now. So you want to make sure that we're building into attack speed and increasing our dex and stuff like that. Don't go for these nodes right here because this is elemental elements. This does not include poison. We have to make sure that it's damaging elements. Same thing, we're not really worried about piercing or projectile damage, so we can pass on this. So go ahead and just avoid those and go around. So I decided to jump up here and get some more poison stuff. We got magnitude, we've got maiming on poison enemies. We go down this way to Master Fletchling. This is really important for increasing the effectiveness of your quiver. This is going to give you a nice massive jump on the level projectile skill, so get all of these ASAP. You can build down this way to go for stacking toxins to increase the amount of poisons you're inflicting. This is great. Same thing for lasting toxins. We're going to increase that duration of our poison. I've built into some evasion here. Go down here, grab a jewel socket, try to get some chaos damage and mana on kill. They can be pretty expensive, but at least try to get the chaos damage or the mana on kill, either or. If you can't afford it, that's fine. So going for fast acting toxins is nice. We're going to increase the speed at which our poison is doing some damage, so nab those up. And same thing for wasting. We're going to be increasing the duration of damaging elements, and it's important that you pay attention to what it's saying here because damaging elements do include poison. And then increase damage with hits against enemies affected. So I'm going to go ahead and break down the passive skill tree for you. On the Ascendancy tree, we are going for Poisonous Concoction, and currently we're going for Traveler's Wisdom for bonus skill points, but my plan is to build into Overwhelming Toxicity once I have 2 more Ascendancy points. So I would build straight into Horn Instincts to get some more attack speed and dex. Go ahead and avoid these 2 nodes as this is Elemental Elements. This does not include Poison. And this is just pierce and projectile damage. We're not worried about our projectile damage or piercing. We're worried about our poison damage. So we're just going to go ahead and bypass that to save us a whole point. I would, as quickly as possible, build into Master Fletchling, as this is going to increase the effectiveness of our quiver even more. So get all of these nodes ASAP. I've also gone up here to get Crippling Toxins because this gives us a chance to maim. It hits on people that are poisoned. So these enemies that we're hitting, it's going to possibly maim them and slow them down. We also got some Magnitude of Poison on there. I then build in the stacking toxins to give a +1 of our poisons at the same time. This is really good for stacking that melting damage on bosses that you're seeing, so try to get this. And then lasting toxins to increase the duration of our poison. I got some evasion nodes, some movement speed, same thing, more evasion because we're building into acrobatics eventually. Go ahead and get this socket right here. I like to go for chaos and mana on kill. This will help you sustain your mana, and chaos damage for more poison damage. Going for fast acting toxin is nice here because the damaging elements will deal damage faster. This does include poison. Same for these little nodes right here. And then this is increasing the magnitude and the duration, and then wasting is going to increase the damage with hits against enemies affected by elements, and this is including poison, you can see here on the card. And then you need to make sure that we're watching for damaging elements and not elemental elements, because elemental elements do not include poison, so pay attention to what skills you're picking. I'm then building out this way to get another jewel socket to get some more chaos damage. I've done some mana regen. Falcon technique is what we're building into to get some really high attack speed, so we're going to be stacking dex. That's why we're going with proficiency here. And I've elected to go down here to get another jewel socket for more damage, and then going right here for acceleration to get more movement speed and skill speed. The plan is to then build into these two nodes out here to get some more evasion, and then eventually build into acrobatics. There's nodes over here for poison that we're going to go for eventually. This node right here, Subterfuge Mask, is great for getting some bonus energy shield. And then we're probably going to build all the way up here to increase the magnitude, and then recover 2% of life on kill of poisoned enemies. It's going to be nice to keep us alive. So I will update it with a kind of in-game or late-game build that will come later. But for now, this is the current setup, and I'll zoom out so you can kind of see. So I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of the loop of how it all works. So if you're at range, you can use your poison burst arrow to hit targets from far. If you have, let's say, like a big group of enemies, you can use your flask to kind of splash damage them. You can see that we're pretty much just instant killing everything. If you have a really large group of enemies, or like a couple rare enemies, you can drop your vine arrow and then hit it with your flask, and it's going to buff it up, and anything that it grabs is going to drain its health like that. And you can see enemies have these purple things on them right here. This is our blasphemy applying our curse to them. So that's lowering their chaos resistance, so that way we can do more damage with poison. But really the loop is just running around, getting some kills with your arrow and throwing your flask. Just pay attention to your total flash charges down here, as if you're constantly chucking your concoction, you're going to be draining all your mana flask. So if you need to, just use your normal attacks for a while, and it's pretty useful. So I'm going to show off Rain of Arrows right here. So if this big group of enemies right here, we can just pop this on them. It'll slow them down, pin them up. And let's say that, you know, I get frozen, or like, you know, maybe I get slowed right here. I can pop my freezing salvo and it'll freeze, or just kill the enemies right in front of me, so that way I can get away. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the loop of bossing. It's really simple. Before you go in to fight the boss, make sure you pop your barrage down here. It does have a timer on it, so make sure that you don't pop it too early. You're going to pop it, drop your vine arrow, and then continue to spam it with your poison concoction, and it's just going to drink the boss's HP away. So yeah, and that was the Act 1 Cruel version of the boss. So I just got into Act 1 Cruel, so you can see that it still is, you know, shredding even in the Cruel mode. But that's going to be it for the video, so I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, I've included the Mobalytics link in the description, and this is a early game to mid game. This is not anything for like in-game or mapping like that. I'll have a version of that eventually, but this is what I got for now. This is what I've used on my Twitch stream to kind of melt the campaign. If you guys want to come check me out over there, I'm streaming at FGCorbin21. We've been having a blast over there, so I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.